What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a weekly gaming news show, the podcast where two seasoned video game veterans talk about the week's gaming news. My name is Trenell, and I'm here as always with the homeboy Todd. How's it going, Todd?
It's going, man. It's going. Thanksgiving is coming up.
Oh yeah, we close.
Way too fast.
Oh my god, dude! It was like just my birthday, and now it's Thanksgiving. This year is going by pretty swiftly, if I do say so myself. Season 2 launch, yes. Season 2 hype.
check us out. We got a new layout,
new overlay. Got some like cool tricks and treats that we are still going to be rolling out as we go forward. But this was like the grand presentation, the grand like opening, I guess you could say, of our season 2 launch. Been waiting a long time. Shouts out to Mount Lover for designing the overlay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, homeboy. And yeah, so with that, I guess we could just go ahead and get into the show, and we're going to start that off by tackling the weekly icebreaker. And if you're unfamiliar with that, the weekly icebreaker is just a question that we asked between the two of us to get a sense of where we are on certain gaming related topics, but sometimes we like to go off the cuff. And in the spirit of Black Friday and all of the shenanigans that it brings,
shenanigans.
Yes, shenanigans. That's the word I'm going to use. All the shenanigans that goes on Black Friday. This week's question, or I guess statement, I guess you could say, or what are some of your worst Black Friday horror stories? Because we both worked in retail, and we both worked in retail during a Black Friday. So I'm very excited to hear your story. Mine's maybe a little underwhelming compared to yours. So I'm gonna let you just go ahead.
So I worked at Best Buy for years, and I also worked at the Sony store that was up in Tyson's for a couple years. And I worked Black Fridays for both of those. To be quite honest, the worst was the Sony store. Because the people, first off, we know people in Fairfax County are snobs. They all think they're better than what they are. You get the people that come into Black Friday stores. I mean, they come into the Sony store looking for, because Sony still has that cachet, right, of being a premium brand. So people come in the Sony store and they want these, and Sony, their prices are ridiculous, but they come in your Sony store wanting Sony products for Acer prices. And so when I was working at the Sony store, Sony had these laptops, the Vials, the Z series laptops. They were these business class laptops. They were super tiny, 13-inch. Think of like the MacBook Air before there was a MacBook Air. They were like that. Super thin, super powerful, super fast, super expensive. Like the cheapest one was like $2,000, $1,899, right?
Right.
And for Black Friday, we had a sale on the cheapest one. It went from $18.99 to $15.99. And I had an Indian customer, that's like
a rollback. That's not even a real sale right there. But
no, it wasn't a real sale because it was last year's. It was an older model.
Okay.
It wasn't even the current model. It was out of print model. So it was almost like a clearance. It was what it really was. But they they touted it as a doorbuster. So we only had like 10 or 15 of those, and those things went out. Boom. First 15 minutes they were gone, right? So I had this Indian customer come in, and he wanted that laptop. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, those are all sold out. We sold those out within the first hour. The store opened at like 8, and he's in here at like 2 in the afternoon.
Oh God.
He's like, I want his laptop. I'm like, yeah, it's sold out.
It's gone, cuz.
He's like, I want a rain check. I'm like, yeah, there's no rain check. And he goes, well, you need to give me this one for that same price. And which one do you think he picked up?
Freaking like I don't know, like a Sony laptop?
Yeah, he picked up the most expensive top of the line one, which is like $4,000. He's like, well, you're going to give me this one for this price. I said, no, I'm not. And he goes, I need to talk to your manager. And I told him, I said, nope, I'm not going to waste my manager's time on your, I'm not going to waste my manager's time. And this dude, he just started screaming. He's like, you cheating me, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, holy shit, guy. I just stepped
Jesus
back from it.
Christ.
I'm like, he just started screaming like a maniac. I was like, is this guy going to attack me? What the hell is wrong with him? Is he a lunatic? And the security guard came over and escorted him out. But yeah, he straight up threw a 3-year-old temper tantrum in the store because he couldn't get his laptop. And then I have one at Best Buy. Oh, I have a bunch at Best Buy. I don't want to get into.
You don't even want to get into those.
Yeah, I mean, I told you about the one. This was during the Nintendo 64 launch where the dude got pushed into the browsers.
Oh God.
Then for this was a PlayStation year. I think it was the first year PlayStation came out. It was the first year of Christmas sales, and these two women were playing tug of war over a PlayStation, and one of them fell back into like the display item, the demo, the PlayStation demo. So they were tug of warring. I guess it was the last one. They were fighting over it, and one was like right into the thing. Oh man, the stories are endless. But those are two good ones. The one with the guy yelling at me, I don't know. I kind of wanted to fight him, just because he was like in my personal space screaming at me.
Yeah, man, who does that?
Like, but yeah, those two are some interesting things that's happened to me for Black Friday.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I can go on and on. I have hours of these stories.
Yeah, I don't have hours of them. The only like major Black Friday that I actually worked retail was when I worked at GameStop during the Wii launch, or not the Wii launch, but during like the Wii's first year. I think the Wii came out. When did the Wii launch? I can't remember.
Like 2000.
It was in 2006, but I don't remember.
2007, right? Yeah, it was 2006. Yeah, but it was almost like the Nintendo Switch launch, right? It was like in the spring or summer.
Right. So yeah, the actual because the Wii U came out in November. When did the Wii launch? I can't remember. Like what month was it? Let me see.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I have to look this up because I want to remember correctly. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it came out in November.
Oh, on this.
It came out on this day. In 2006, November 19th.
11 years ago today.
Yeah, so I was working Black Friday when during the Wii's first the Wii's first Black Friday, and it was a mess, dude. Like if you can imagine, and I bet you can, like how scarce the Switches are. Like the Wii, it felt like they were even more scarce than the Switch, dude. Like there was absolutely no Wiis. And of course, when you're working at a GameStop, the only people that are going to get the console at, when the shipments come in is the people that pre-order. But like hundreds of people are in line. Where my GameStop was located, it was in this small, little shopping center in Alexandria. And it didn't even have the capacity to hold that many people in line. But there was people wrapped around and we're like, yo, and I was like a third key or like an assistant to the assistant manager or whatever. And so I was opening the store and I got the registers ready and everything. And then I came outside and I had to make the announcement. I was like, hey, we have 14 Nintendo Wii's in this store. I see a lot of you out here. We have 14
and 10 of them are pre-ordered.
And 10 of them are pre-ordered. So we have 4 Wii's in this store. If you don't have if you have a pre-order, if you don't have your receipt, you're not getting it. So I made a lot of people angry that day. Nobody directly came at me because I did do them the courtesy of making the announcement before letting everybody in. But that was a scary moment, dude. I was like, you want me to tell that line of over 100 people that we only got 14 Wii's in here? It was pretty nerve-wracking for, how old was I? 17, 18 years old? Oh, wow. Yeah, 18-year-old Trenell was a little, I was a little shook, if I do say so myself. But, they came in, because at GameStop, we don't do, the line or anything, so everybody, it was opening time, so everybody just came in the store. There was so many people in there, and, of course, we had, deals or whatever on, used games or whatnot, but, they was there for the Wii.
Right,
and that was quite an experience.
Yeah,
the Wii.
Yeah, the sellout stuff. This is what I hate about all Black Fridays. It's especially when you work in it, is that all of the stuff that's advertised the doorbusters, they never last. I mean,
Right.
I remember at Best Buy, this was like back in the day when people were all still buying desktops before laptops, and
Oh God, yeah.
they had these E-Machine desktops. Remember E-Machine?
I remember E-Machines. Yeah, I sure do.
There was some E-Machine. It was the whole set, because it was the monitor, the printer, the computer was all for $400, right? That was the door breaker. $400, you get a monitor, PC, and printer. Everybody wanted it. We got 5.
Wow.
In the whole store, we got 5. And that was every year. We had like TVs on sale, and we get like a dozen of them. And we have like DVD players or VCRs, and you get like 10 of them. Like the $30 DVD VCR, you get 10. And everybody would come in, they'd be all upset. The first thing they would do is they would ask for rain checks, and you have to tell them you can't have a rain check.
What the heck even is that? I've never even heard of that term before.
Oh, rain checks?
I've heard of the term, but I've never known exactly what it was.
They're a big thing at Best Buy. So basically, in the normal ad, normal circle, like if you go into Best Buy today and you see like they have a Sony TV on sale for $7.99, you go in there and it's out of stock, you can ask for a rain check. And if it's something they're going to get in stock, they give you a little slip. I don't know if they still do it, but you get a slip, and when it came in stock, they'll sell it to you at the sale price.
Okay.
Instead of selling it to you, so it'll get stuck with a rain check. They'll call you like, okay, the TV came in the rain check TV came in. Do you still want it? You say yes, and they'll sell it to you as long as you kept your rain check slip. You can still buy it at the sale price. But for any Black Friday sales, they would never give rain checks. No rain checks.
Yeah, it's like I don't understand how you can expect to get a rain check on a Black Friday deal. Like, come on now.
Yeah, so I mean, it was nerve-wracking. The store was all crowded. People were ornery, bumping into you. There were fights. I mean, there were a lot of fights at the Best Buy. It's hilarious. People, you look at two middle-aged moms, little middle-aged moms sitting there throwing down.
Oh yeah. I've seen the videos, and that's primarily why I don't shop. Like I don't physically. I would never physically go to a store on Black Friday. I do not do that. Like my Black Friday might as well just call it Cyber Friday and Cyber Monday, because I'm doing everything online.
Yeah, that's what I do too. And to be quite honest, I don't necessarily put all my eggs in one basket for Black Friday sales, because if you're not getting a doorbuster, a lot of times the deals aren't that great.
Right? No, unless they're some older models that people are getting rid of, like, because that's how I got my current TV, 42 inch. How I got that. It was on Black Friday, and it was a deal, and I actually got it online. It was at Target. I bought it a couple years ago, and when I got it, it was like 3 years old. So it's not like a smart TV. Like, it's none of that. I just wanted with a high refresh rate and like low input lag for gaming, and this was like the top pick on for the size. So yeah, that's why I went with this. And
yeah, there's a site. Oh, I can't remember it. I was just listening to it because I was listening to one of these podcasts, and they said they scan out of like 2,000 deals or 2,000 advertised deals, only 223 items were actually on sale. Some of the items were, and they said something like 7 to 12% of the items were more expensive in the ad than they normally sell them for. So,
God!
just because
get beat.
Just because it's in the circular doesn't mean it's a good deal. That's the point of that. So when you do go out this Black Friday, if you're going out this coming weekend to go shopping, make sure you're getting a deal. I mean, use your Google machines, use your phones. You got them with you now, so you have that power in your pocket. Yep. Make sure you're not getting beat, because if you're not getting a doorbuster, the next item that they move you on to, and I know this from experience, is the item that's the most profitable item. So you wanted that doorbuster 55-inch TV that's no longer there. The next 55-inch TV that they're selling you they're selling it to you at regular price. There's not a sale price on that TV at all. So yeah, just keep your eyes open when you're out there, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I have to be like looking to buy something like very specific to actually like go shopping. Like I normally don't shop on Black Friday. And unless I'm looking for something like for this year, I might be looking into getting myself a camera. So I'll do some research before I actually like
Still
go out
camera?
and do some
Video camera.
video camera.
Yeah, I need one too.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are our Black Friday horror stories / advice for you.
Yeah.
If you're working at retail. Yeah, lots of stories. We can go on for this for a long time, but I honestly think we went on for a little too long. So let's go ahead and get on to the next segment of this show, and that's going to be the quick hits. And the quick hits is just some rapid fire stories that don't necessarily deserve a deep dive or anything like that, but we do want to address them with you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get into that right now. And Boogie, why don't you go ahead and let us know what the first story is? What we got?
IO Interactive, they're in the news again. Last week we talked about them and their upcoming new Hitman game.
Yep.
This week we're talking about them and their optioning rights for a Hitman TV series. They're working with 21st Century Fox and Hulu, so it looks like it'll be something that's going to be streaming on Hulu, maybe a Hulu exclusive TV series based on the Hitman series. And now Hitman had 2 movies. They weren't horrible movies. They weren't that great. I think, to be quite honest, a Hitman TV series fits more in line with the way the game is.
Right, because it's especially the most recent game because it's like episodic, so
Exactly.
it'll fit right into how the game functions.
Exactly, it's a perfect fit, and to be quite honest, I'll be interested in watching because, like I said, I watched the movies; they were okay. It just didn't feel like Hitman because it just didn't.
Right.
I don't know, but if with episodic content where each week he's assassinating another person, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. No, that actually sounds pretty cool, and I would be interested to see it if I had any interest in getting Hulu as a service, but I don't, so I probably won't see it. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I don't mess with Hulu.
I'm inching more and more towards it. Between the Runaways, I want to see The Handmaid's Tale,
Okay,
and this Hitman, and they have it's another show. There's another show that's coming up on Hulu too. That's a Hulu exclusive that I want to see. So I'm slowly being inched towards Hulu. I may or may not. I remember back in the day when Hulu first came out, it was free, and I used to watch The Simpsons on it all the time.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then
When
they
it first came out,
Then it stopped being free, and I was upset about that.
yeah. They had a lot of anime on there, a lot of like old shows, a lot of old cartoons, and
Right.
And it was like, wait, we can make money off this.
Yep, they still have a lot of stuff, and they still have a lot of anime. My brother uses Hulu. That's his preferred streaming service because their anime library is so great. So
the only thing I don't like is that they will put up like currently running shows,
one episode at a time.
but yeah, you can't go back and check
Can't binge
everything.
it, yep.
And especially I have cable. If I didn't have cable, that would be a problem. But like I usually like DVR shows that I want, so I can go back and watch them.
Right.
Or if I miss something, I can go back and watch it. But yeah, that was one thing I didn't really like about Hulu, because I did the trial and I was like, oh yeah, they have this show. They're on episode 5. Let me catch up. Oh no, they only have episode 4, so I can't really do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. Always good to hear that IO Interactive and the Hitman franchise is doing good things, because they're the fans of that franchise, they love it. And I have to just give big props to freaking Square Enix for allowing them to keep their freaking franchise, dude.
Yeah.
They did not have to do that. It was probably not like it wasn't something that they benefited from.
No,
They definitely could have just like fired that studio, kept the property, and just ran with it.
Ran with it. Yep, they certainly could have. It's good on them to let their IO take their IP, and it's also good for IO for actually looking to monetize in other ways.
Right.
Considering they're now essentially an independent studio, they don't have that financial backing of a Square Enix, so they've got to pay
Gotta make that money somewhere, and they probably should avoid doing microtransactions. I'm just putting that out there. Just putting that out there. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story.
What is the next? Oh, the next story. Marvel Heroes. Marvel Heroes is a MMO game, Diablo type game using Marvel characters.
Marvel characters, yeah.
And
been out for a while on PC.
It's been out on PC since 2013. It just hit the consoles this past June, I believe it was.
Yeah, June.
And in December 31st, the servers will be shut down.
A little over a month.
Yep.
During the time of this podcast, this MMO will cease to exist.
Yep, pretty much. And what happened is Marvel pulled the licensing from the developer, who is
what was the developers?
I have their name. Give me a second.
Don't get it. We go get it. Is it Gazillion?
Yes, Gazillion Entertainment.
Gazillion. There we go.
So Marvel decided to pull their license from Gazillion Entertainment, and as such, Gazillion can no longer disseminate this game. So it is now going away. It's a free-to-play game, so it was rife for microtransactions, of course. The disappointing thing is that console players were just able to get it this past June, and if they sunk any kind of money into it, their investment is lost.
Right, and I've been checking up on Reddit. People
are upset.
People are upset. People want refunds, and people have dropped up to like thousands of dollars on the console version.
I saw one guy specifically note that he spent about $400.
Yep, that's the same one I saw. So spent like $400.
Yeah,
and he will not get a refund.
Nope.
Because this is a free to play game. It's a game as a service.
Right.
So you don't own anything. You're playing the game as a service. The service is going to discontinue, so you will not get a refund. Yep. In America, some people are arguing that in the UK, if you bought the game within the last 30 days, it may be possible for you to get a refund, because in the UK, their consumer laws are like a lot more for consumers.
So if they need to go ahead and book for those refunds now, because one other thing that they're doing is they're going to shut off microtransactions and make all the content free for everybody until servers are shut down. So,
and when is that supposed to happen?
They didn't give a date as to when they're going to shut down microtransactions and make everything free. They just said as soon as possible is what they said. They didn't give a specific date.
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. But it sucks, and it's unfortunate because it's not as if Gazillion decided to stop supporting the game. They just lost the license, and once they lose the license, they can't have a Marvel game. I guess they can reskin it and make it call it something else, but. Part of the lore of the game is that they're Marvel heroes, right?
Yeah, they're Marvel heroes. You're not playing as like your avatar with like powers. You're playing as Wolverine, as Cyclops, and like all the different like classic skins and the newer skins. And like this game, it really did benefit off the success of the movies as well.
Cinematic universe.
The cinematic universe, because every time that the movie would come out, they would launch like a campaign that kind of followed the movie, and along with skins that were exclusive to like that movie pack or whatever.
And they were supposed to have one for Thor Ragnarok.
For Thor Ragnarok, yeah,
it didn't come out, and that was the writer on the wall apparently. So yeah, it sucks, and that's a risk you take when you play these online only games. They don't last forever.
You run that gamut, man. Not every MMO can be a freaking World of Warcraft.
Nope.
So after a while, it's just over.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's very unfortunate. We'll have to see what happens as far as the refund process over in the UK. I'm hoping to get some updates on that once everything closes down. I'm curious as to see how that's going to roll out in the UK. But over here, I doubt anybody's going to get a refund in the US.
It's highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's move on to the next quick hit. And this is going to be our last quick hit. And for this one, we're talking numbers.
Yeah, numbers.
Numbers. Yeah, we're talking about the NPD numbers for our favorite company, Nintendo. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's October, right? October 2017 numbers, and Nintendo had a big October.
They killed it. They killed it this month. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you cannot deny it. Every month that we've seen these, we don't report on the NPD numbers every month, but when we do, Nintendo seems to always have a substantial lead. And this month, they held the number 1 and number 2 spot for most console sales with the Nintendo Switch.
I don't necessarily consider the number 2 a console, but
I agree with you on that. I agree with you 100% on that. But according to this, the top 2 consoles sold for the month of October was the Nintendo Switch at number 1 and the SNES Classic at number 2.
Yep. And
yeah,
one thing about this is this has been the first month since 2011, and October of 2011, that there have been 1 million hardware units sold, and 60% of those sold were Nintendo. The Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Super NES Classic, and the Nintendo 3DS or Nintendo DS, 3DS DS.
The DS
family,
freaking family of consoles.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that works. So, it's interesting. Everybody's gonna tell how great Nintendo's doing and blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But Nintendo gets the boost. The Switch for sure gets a boost because of Mario Odyssey and the fact that it's been scarce for the past 6 months, and now they're finally
back in stock. Yeah,
they're finally easily found and they're pretty abundant, so they're gonna sell through their stock. The Super NES Classic, I mean, that's a stocking stuffer. I'm sure people are trying to swipe them up to corner the Christmas market, or even give them away as cheap Christmas gifts, because it's what, $50.
Is it 50? I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was like.
Oh, it's $80. Isn't
yeah,
it?
I was like, $80. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Still pretty cheap though.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think it's a little too expensive for like
for what it is.
What it is, dude.
A Raspberry Pi with an SNES emulator.
Yeah, get out of here.
Exactly.
Can make one of those shits for half the price.
Yep. And then just real quick, I want to go through the top 10 games for October. Middle Earth: Shadow of War was the number 1 seller. Even with the controversy over the microtransactions. Assassin's Creed Origins was number 2. Both of those are multi-plat games. The only exclusive game I see is Super Mario Odyssey, which checked in at 3. South Park, another big game, the Fractured Butthole.
That's just fun. I just beat it. It's a good one.
NBA 2K18, FIFA 18, WWE 2K18, Madden 18, Destiny 2, and then Forza Motorsport 7 wraps up the top 10. Which I was asking you this before we started. Is that disappointing? But if you look at Forza being an exclusive title and a niche title, because it's a racing sim, it's not the most popular. It's not a football game. It's not a shooter. So I think that's a pretty good showing at that spot.
Yeah, what I'm definitely surprised about is the fact that GTA 5 is not in the top 10.
Yeah, GTA 5 is bowed out of the top 10 this month. They came in at number 12, which is the first month.
Not far behind.
Yeah, first month in a long time.
Yeah,
that is the money printing franchise right there.
I think with all the backlash and like hatred towards the microtransaction, that may have played a part in them not making as much money this month. I don't know.
I think it's just because there was just a glut of just new games out there that people wanted to play. Because if you look at the list, I mean, all the Shadow of War, Assassin's Creed, and South Park were all highly anticipated titles. Mario was a hugely anticipated title. It's just the fact that there was and then it's sports season, so everybody get their sports ball game.
Yeah, sports ball.
Yeah, so it's just that October was a heavy hitting month of just new games that people really, really were waiting for. Because remember, Assassin's Creed, this is the first. They skipped
the first one in a couple of years since Syndicate. Yep. And then I believe the South Park game was delayed a couple of times.
Right, the South Park had been delayed. Shadow of War is the first game.
Highly anticipated.
Yeah, highly anticipated. The first game, I can't think of the name.
Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor, yeah. That was hugely received, and this was definitely a highly anticipated follow-up. So all of these games that pushed GTA 5 down were big AAA titles that had a lot of momentum behind them coming out.
I agree. So yeah, those are the NPD numbers. If you want to check out all of this for yourself, links will be in the description and also in the show notes over on our Facebook page. So make sure you check that out if you want to see where your favorite game landed on the top list for NPD for this month. So with that said, that's going to be our quick hits. As always, you guys can submit stories to us via our social media. If you're watching this live right now, you can see it down in the lower left-hand corner. You see our Facebook link, our Twitter page, as well as our YouTube page. Leave us a comment. Let us know if there's any stories that you would like for us to talk about, and they will most likely be added into the quick hit section. But with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is going to be the top 5 news stories for this week. It'll be the meat and potatoes of the podcast. And before we do that, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, which is the New Challenger Discord. So let me go ahead and get on over there. Bam! All right, so go to newchallenger.gg, sign up for the Discord server, and get good in your favorite fighting game with a robust and active community of fighting game enthusiasts supporting Injustice 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, and with future plans to support very highly anticipated fighting games coming down the line like Dragon Ball Fighter Z. If you want to get good, the New Challenger Discord is the place to be. You can also hit them up on Twitter, New Challenger TV, as well as on Twitch, because they have weekly tournaments that they broadcast over on the Twitch channel, and they also have weekly content that goes live, like the beginner breakdown, where they take a user submitted match, and they go over the ins and outs and show you what you can do to get good, and what you can do to change your gameplay style. It's a really cool tool, and something that anybody that wants to get into fighting games should take advantage of. So again, that's newchallenger.gg. Go ahead and sign up. Big shout out to Mr. Vinegar, who is the founder of the Discord server. And also a big shout out to Mount Lover, who is not only a friend of a weekly gaming news show, but he is a mod over on the Discord channel. He is a commentator for the tournaments, and he is a coach for Street Fighter 5. So big shout out to Mount Lover. He also designed our new overlay. So thank you again for that. And yeah, that's New Challengers. Go ahead and check them out. So with that, let's go ahead and move on. Top 5 news stories for this week. And Boogie, why don't you go ahead and start us off? This one we've talked about this in the past. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, so this one is regarding Ubisoft and Vivendi. Vivendi has been hostile towards Ubisoft for a while, trying to forcibly take over Ubisoft by buying up a majority or controlling stake in shares. So during their most recent earnings call, they said for the next 6 months that they're not going to be buying any more shares of Ubisoft.
Okay.
They're not going to try to raise, because I think the number is about over 30%, and they can have a controlling stake. So they're not going to try to raise its ownership over 30% for the next 6 months. They had requested a seat on the Ubisoft board, which Ubisoft had blocked and even denied. They said they're pulling that request. And so Ubisoft is going to get a break from this fight. I guess this is in between rounds, right? The bell's rung after the first round.
Yeah, taking a break.
Right. Ubisoft has come out and said that they took note of Vivendi's statement, but they will remain vigilant, which means, we don't believe those dudes, basically.
Yeah. Because they own what, like you said, like 30%?
Less than. I think they have to have over 30% stake to have a controlling shares.
Okay. Yeah, so they're still under 30. They currently do not hold a seat on the board as well.
At all, right.
Yeah, and I believe they said in the statement that they would be, slowing down on that front as well.
Right. They're pulling that request all together, yes. So as of right now, for the next 6 months, so until May, they're going to be leaving Ubisoft alone. Again, I'm not interested in Vivendi taking over Ubisoft. I mean, remember they had Blizzard for a while, and they had to
Right.
spin them off, and that was some of the worst time for Blizzards.
Yeah.
So Blizzard didn't really turn itself around until they got out of the claws of Vivendi, and into the loving arms of Activision, I guess. But at least
freaking vice grip arms. I don't know about loving.
At the very least, Activision.
They love that money. Sorry.
At the very least, Activision is a gaming company, right?
Yes.
If Vivendi is not, and I definitely don't want to see Ubisoft swallowed by them.
Swept up by those guys. Yeah. I don't know. 6 months. It seems like a weird timetable for them to just back off from their hostile takeover, which has been constant for the past, like, I don't even know how long.
No, it's that would take them into the new fiscal year.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, just with all the controversy that's going on right now, they probably just want to see how all of this plays out, because we haven't really mentioned it or mentioned Ubisoft by name, but they're a big contributor into the microtransaction.
Oh yeah, the microtransaction.
Yeah, so they with all of this news coming out, they're probably just trying to bide their time and see exactly how this pans out before they decide on whether or not they want to continue.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't blame them for that.
As possible, they may think that over the next 6 months, Ubisoft's performance may tank the stock.
May tank.
It'd be cheaper for them to swoop in. That's a possibility.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's definitely a possibility. And to be quite honest, as much as we've gushed over Ubisoft and their attempts to bring some new IPs and new ideas, they've kind of failed miserably. When you look at For Honor and you look at Ghost Recon and you look at some of the other games that they've come out that's been microtransaction heavy, they're not garnering much favor.
No,
so,
I will say that Assassin's Creed is dope, but maybe they're just biding their time and seeing if anything goes down over the next 6 months, and like you said, swoop in when those stocks are a little cheaper.
Yep. We'll see.
Because and we're going to talk about that in our next story. Gamers are mad. Gamers are angry.
They're starting to revolt.
They're starting to revolt. And, I guess that's like a perfect segue into the next story. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. EA and Battlefront 2.
Yeah, EA's had a long week.
It's been a hell of a week for these guys, and let me tell you, I've been watching this closely, and every single day there has been something new going on with this story, and it's been blowing my mind.
Yeah.
How like every day there was
just the past 10 days even.
Just something new every single day. Mm-hmm. So I guess we should just start from the beginning. When the game first was when the beta came out, I remember when the beta came out, a lot of people were talking about how they had this in-game currency and that you could use that to buy skins, or not skins, but use that to buy
cards.
The star cards and the characters and all of that. Mm-hmm. There was a statement made by EA like, oh, well, this is just in the beta. Then we're going to be changing, and all of this is going to be changed over the course of the development. Blah blah blah. Get a little bit closer to launch. People that have EA Access, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, the EA Access. It's their, EA has a monthly service.
Yeah.
It's much like Xbox's Game Pass, but it's EA's version. It's actually fairly cheap, $30 a month. There's a bunch of games in there, and you typically get like 10% off of new game purchases and early access.
Early access to the game. Okay, so a lot of people were getting, that got early access to the game. We're finding out very quickly that the microtransactions, while they had been changed from the beta, they had not been changed for the better, because the game was essentially centered around the random loot boxes, and it became this pay to win system where people with large amounts of money would just drop hundreds of dollars on random loot boxes, get what they want, and then go online and wreck,
murder you.
Yeah, and essentially murder you. Another thing that was caught by the early access people was that the hallmark characters of the Star Wars franchise, like when you think of Star Wars, you think of Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader,
Han Solo,
Han Solo, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, whatever. These characters cost so much. I don't know what the currency is called. What's the in-game, like crystals or whatever?
Something crystals, yeah.
Something like that. They cost so much of the game's in-game currency that if you did not purchase them outright, like, you know, just randomly buy them, in order to get it with the in-game currency, you had to play up to 40 hours
per character.
Per character.
Per character. That's absurd.
That is absurd. 40 hours of non-stop grinding in multiplayer, and that is not including any kind of weapon upgrades or anything for your character. Like, if you you couldn't purchase anything else.
You just had to run around as basically cannon fodder, because if you're not upgrading your weapons, that's what you are, cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Until you unlock these characters, and that's
But it doesn't end there. So I know you're tired of it already, but we're not even done yet. So these characters cost way too much. EA released a statement saying that, okay, we understand it's a little expensive. And it was like the dumbest statement. We tried to play towards, you know, the player's sense of like progression and like reward you accomplishments and all this BS. So they lowered the cost of the characters, but at the same time lowered the amount of credits or whatever the hell you got that you earned from online battles. And then they limited the amount of credits or whatever the hell that you could get
per day or per week, right?
Per day in the single player. So, because like in the single player, like it's basically like you versus the AI, right. Which is
you complete missions and tasks and challenges. You get you get the currency,
right? And it's a lot less than multiplayer, but you know, you can still get it. They reduced that to a daily like cap,
so a small amount too. It wasn't even. It was like almost an insignificant amount, especially based on the amount that you needed to unlock these characters. The hero characters.
So that was another thing. Man, like. So like people went freaking bananas, dude. Like they went nuts over all of this, and there's some more that went on. It's losing me at the moment.
They did an AMA where they basically crapped their pants.
Yeah.
And it's eventually basically what wound up happening is there was an intervention, and microtransactions were turned off.
Temporarily, like right before the game's official launch, the day before the official launch, they completely disabled micro transactions altogether.
Yeah.
So and the key word is temporarily. They released a statement on the official forums stating that, you know, they want to have we want to thank our community for being so engaged. Like what? Anyway. But they disengaged the microtransaction system pending further like study. They want to be able to implement it, but in a way that doesn't piss everybody off. And the route that they went in their explanation was that, we didn't mean to create a pay to win economy or anything like that.
No, what they did is predatory. So exactly. What they did, they tried to build a system where it would entice people to buy, spend money, participate in the microtransactions, and
to save time. Yeah,
the way they figured out that the way they figured people would most likely spend money during using microtransactions is as shortcuts, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, these were cheat codes. Now they're microtransactions. For you to unlock a character real quick, you can get a cheat code or you can grind the game. Now today, what they did was, you can get Darth Vader if you grind for 40 hours, or for $19.95, you can have him today.
Right.
And that's basically what they did. And
just preying on your impatience.
Right. It's predatory. It's despicable. There's a lot of words I can say about this. It doesn't surprise me that EA would try this. somebody had to. It was coming from somebody, them or Activision or even Ubisoft. One of them were going to go too far, and this is a bridge too far.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about it is they pick Star Wars to do it, and the reason they pick Star Wars is not by accident. It's not by happenstance. It's not by accident they did it in Star Wars and not in Battlefield. Star Wars is a hugely popular IP,
right.
That brings people from all walks of life to the game, and they figured, I know we'll get a bunch of casual players that's not going to play a lot, but they want Darth Vader, so they're going to throw money at us.
Right.
And that is a problem in itself. And that's unfortunately where we were talking about this, I think, last week when we did the long form.
Yeah.
It's where this is the path it's been heading.
Yeah, I mean, with Activision and their patents that just preys on your sense of being inferior to somebody that has like this awesome gear that they bought. The fact that you are just like watching people you get in-game credits for watching people unlock or unbox. Like, what is this? What are we doing? Like I don't understand it, and it really does seem like people are just getting fed up. Like they've been trying us, but when it came to Star Wars, they just went too far, dude. The hammer came down from good old Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse said, "Hey, look, EA, cut that nonsense out.
We got toys to sell, and we got a movie. A movie coming out, and we will not have this bad press ruin our movie.
What we're trying to do, right? Exactly. And like I said, this is something that we've seen coming. The writing's been on the wall. It's been getting worse and worse. It went from just cosmetics to what we have now. And right now it is a cluster, because every major game, especially if it has a multiplayer component, has these microtransactions, and they're becoming more and more predatory.
Yeah, more and more predatory. And like we said, it was going to take something drastic in order to make a change. And while I do think that Battlefront 2 is still going to sell a lot of units, the public backlash and the excessive reporting on, the backlash, and, having freaking Disney come down and actually make a change, like, turn off microtransactions. That's a statement,
right? And this is another thing. It actually brings it to the forefront, because a lot of like we talk about this stuff, we see it, we talk about it all the time, and people listen to this show and other shows and other reporting, they may know about it, but by and large, the general gaming public may not know as much, so. With it blowing up, with it getting so much publicity, now people are going to be on the lookout for it in other games, right? So now you look out for it in the next Battlefield that comes out, or the next Call of Duty, or the next big game that comes out.
Anything. Yeah,
you're going to look and see, well, what kind of microtransactions are in here, and is it worth me buying? Because
are you trying to impede my progression in your multiplayer game by, halting, like just making it impossible for me to get what I want without paying you money?
Yeah, this is the second game this year I was looking forward to playing that I've turned my back on. The first one was the Shadow of Mordor. That's a game.
Shadow of War, yeah.
I mean Shadow of War. I'm sorry, Middle Earth Shadow of War. I wanted to play it, but the issue with the microtransactions soured me to it. And this is another one. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I had the first Battlefront. I still have it. It's on my Xbox, somewhere in the hard drive archives. But I've wanted this game, and the way they handle the microtransactions, I won't buy it. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. Even if they fix it to the point where there's no microtransactions and everybody's unlocked to start with, I want this to be a financial failure for EA, so they learn their lesson.
It has to. Like these companies, these stockholders, they have to understand that this is not what we want in a $60 game. Now, if this game was free to play, because I've been seeing a lot of like reviews and gameplay footage, this game is buggy as hell. This game is a buggy monstrosity. And while it does take steps forward from the previous game, like it does not warrant the amount of money that they're trying to freaking milk out of people. It is not this grandiose freaking like, you know, epic of a game that, you know, developers like put their heart and soul into it. No, this is a cash in on the Star Wars franchise.
Yes, definitely a cash grab. And this is the second game. Yeah. This is the second game that's EA big major release that EA's botched. And both games, if you go back and look at Mass Effect Mass Effect Andromeda, both games have a huge push for microtransactions. It's almost as if the drive were the microtransactions, and you built the game around that. Mm-hmm. And it didn't seem to fare well for them either time. And you know what happened the last time EA had a freaking studio that just did not follow through with their games as a service kind of like plan that they're going through. We just talked about that.
Yeah, we just talked about that. You know,
Visceral Games shut
them down.
And then they brought who did they just buy? They shut down Visceral and they just bought somebody. The Respawn.
Yeah, they bought Respawn. So good luck to those guys. But I'm talking about what with EA Montreal, and like, you know, just
they rolled them into
Motive. Mm-hmm. So
who developed the Star Wars game, by the way.
Let me tell you, man. So yeah, a big week for EA and Battlefront. You know, Mickey Mouse coming down with the hammer of justice,
right,
and giving us consumers a temporary win. And I do mean temporary because in their statement they did address the fact that they will be re-implementing microtransactions just in a different form.
It's part of their business
or the exact same form, just later.
Right. You never know. But like I said, it won't affect me because I will not buy this game as much as I really wanted to play it, as much as I've been dying for a current gen Star Wars game, and I think this game looks pretty, even though it does have its glitches. I won't partake because, like I said, I will not grant this company success for trying to exploit me as a gamer.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. So this is a very important first step in a very long battle that gamers are going to have with publishers going forward. So we'll see how this impacts Battlefront 2 as as its life cycle goes on, and we'll see what happens as far as microtransactions whenever EA decides they want to re-implement them. Right. But you know, everybody's eyes is on Battlefront right now,
right?
And it's not in a good way. So I really feel like they better act right because I don't know the terms of their agreement with Disney and the Star Wars friends because they are the sole publishers of the Star Wars video games. Like they're the only studio or the only publisher that can produce
Star Wars games. I wonder if there's a clause in there that if EA negatively affects the Star Wars brand, if they can just pull that particular license,
just pull it and give it to somebody else. Mm-hmm. Because we do know that as far as the Marvel games, they kind of pick and choose who they want. Mm-hmm. So because we have Insomniac working on the new Spider-Man game, and then I'm not sure who's gonna be. I don't know what games are coming up in the future. There's a lot of mobile games out right now, but man, EA, you guys better act right. Mickey Mouse don't play that.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse put you on notice.
Yeah, he put you on notice, and the consumers put them on blast. Mm-hmm. But let us know down in the comment section what you guys think about EA and Battlefront 2. Did you buy the game? Are you satisfied with it? Are you mad that there's no microtransactions? Are you a big baller? You know what I'm saying? Are you balling out here?
Yeah,
can a brother hold $5 or something? Like, I don't know. Like, let us know what you think down in the comment section. This was the most the most talked about story this week.
Yeah, all week. Yeah,
all
for
week.
sure.
This was
By
the
far.
most. This was what was on everybody's. What was on my Twitter feed and on my YouTube feed all freaking week. I've been just like my eyes have been glued to it. So it'll be interesting to hear what you guys think about it. But let's go ahead and move on to the next story, and we're gonna end things with EA for now and get back to good old Nintendo because Mario is back in the news, and in a very unexpected light. Because if I remember correctly, Nintendo made a public statement saying that they would never, ever try to make another Mario movie. But it's 2017 and anything is possible. So there is a rumor out right now that there will be a new movie based on our favorite plumber that doesn't actually like do his job, Mario.
Yeah, he's not a plumber anymore, right? They retired him. He's something else.
Did they really? I have no idea.
They announced it in his bio, like the former plumber.
Well, he need to take off the freaking suspenders, man. Like we need a redesign. He's still wearing plumber clothes. Get out of here.
Yeah, but this surprised me. I said this on the 10 and 10. They have an extremely low bar to cross. If they want to do better than the first Mario movie, which was the Super Mario Brothers with Dennis Hopper and John Leguizamo,
right
back in like the 90s, 1993, I think it was.
That's an old movie.
Yeah, but the thing is, the rumors they're working with Illumination Studios, who's the studio behind Despicable Me and the Minions. So.
Okay.
It seems like it'd be an animated movie as opposed to live action, which makes 100% more sense than the live action thing. And Illumination, they make kids movies. They make them lighthearted. So I think if they're going with Illumination, it'd be more of a kids movie, more along the lines of Despicable Me's and the Minions and the Pixar movies and, the Toy Stories and stuff like that. Be like a straight up Mario adventure, save the princess from Bowser with some comedy intertwined. I don't see anything wrong with that if they go that way.
Right. Especially if the rumor, if what we're getting out of this rumor is true, because they said that the creator, Mr. Miyamoto is going to be the producer on the movie.
Right. So he's going. So if he's going to be producer, I'm sure he's going to have a lot of creative input. And Mario is his baby. So
Mario is his baby. And if you've ever like I've heard of like some like behind the scenes details with the movie that had Bowser in it. What was it? That DreamWorks movie. No, was that a Disney movie? Wreck-It Ralph?
Oh, Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph had Bowser in the movie.
Yeah, had a lot of games in it. I'm pretty sure Mario showed up there, or there was some references.
I don't think Mario himself was in the movie, but Bowser was definitely there, and they were very particular about the size of Bowser compared to the other characters. To the point where I think it was like representatives from both Nintendo and Capcom were like kind of in a battle of like who was bigger between Bowser and Zangief. It's like, okay, we can only make these motherfuckers so big. Like, come on now, we're gonna have to compromise.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember because I've watched that movie a lot of times.
Yeah,
I think he was in that help group.
Yeah, in the help group. Yeah, the villain help group.
Help group. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So Nintendo is very particular about just how their characters look on screen. Mm-hmm. They're very particular about like music and stuff. Like I heard some behind the scenes stuff with Grant Kirkhope when he did the soundtrack for the Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Mm-hmm. They're very particular. It's like he did like a little jingle and it's like you're off key right here, or this is the wrong key right here, wrong note. They're very particular. So I feel like if they're gonna have any hand in the movie, it's probably going to look and sound great. Right.
Yeah, I think, like I said, Illumination is a pretty decent studio. They make the movies they make are pretty good. They have their own good IP, and like I said, Mario is a kiddie movie. You can't make Mario an adult movie.
You can't make it serious, no.
Right. It's got to be a kid movie, and if they're gonna make it a kid movie, that's great. I'm surprised they wouldn't reach out to Disney, but I'm pretty sure Disney is like, either sell me the IP or we're not making your movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they're gonna stay away from Disney. I honestly don't know what their relationship is like. Disney and Mario, Disney and
Yeah,
Nintendo. I have no idea.
no idea. Yeah, me
But
neither. No.
but yeah, they have a lot of cool movies over on Illumination. You know, they
Yeah,
have the Despicable Me movies. They have the Secret Life of Pets, which is
yeah.
really funny. I actually
The
watched that movie.
the Lorax,
Lorax, Sing,
Which is really good.
yeah, and
Um,
then all of their movies, rate pretty well in and they make a lot of money in the box office.
right.
They're really good.
They,
Very quality animation as well. Like
they're
it
pretty
looks good.
fun. Yeah, they're good movies. I
Yeah.
think Illumination does a good job with their movies, and if they're going to work with Nintendo and Miyamoto and on this Mario project, I can't imagine it would be bad, and it definitely damn hell won't be nearly as horrible as the Super Mario Brothers 1993 movie.
I mean, how can you? Come on now.
Never say never, man. Never say never.
You know what? You are correct. Never say never. But yeah, so that's the rumor on the street. Let's go ahead and get on to the next story, and we're talking about my ex-employer, GameStop, in this story.
Yeah.
We talked about this not too long ago, where they were planning on launching the service known as Power Pass, and it's a subscription service. And what it does is it allows you to essentially rent any used game in the store one at a time for any period of time. And I think it was like, what, $60 a month?
$60 for 6 months.
$60 for six months.
So in 6 months, you pay $60. You have a 6 month subscription.
Okay.
You walk into a GameStop, pick up a used game, take it home, play it, beat it, bring it back, pick up another one. You have that ability for 6 months, and at the end of the 6 months, you were actually able to pick a free game, pick a used game to take home for free.
Yeah.
So that type of plan, that's a fabulous plan, because at the end of the day, if you think about it, in 6 months, you go there and you wait until somebody buys the hot newness and
exactly
sells it, and you pick it up for free, right?
It'll pretty
Right.
much be a mad dash to get the buttery hotness.
Right. So like today it would be Battlefront 2, right? So you would go in and pick up a free copy of Battlefront 2 or Assassin's Creed, because they would be selling that used for $55.
Exactly.
But and they've halted this program. They basically cut it out. They pulled all the signage. If you had already signed up, because they were doing a slow rollout, it wasn't being rolled out everywhere. They were doing a slow rollout. If you were able to sign up, you bring in your card. They're going to refund you, give you a full refund, and give you a free used game. So that's not a bad deal a bad deal. Yeah, not a waste of your time there. And initially, I have been trying to figure out why. There's rumors that's been coming out. There's been posts on forums and stuff from GameStop employees saying the problem is the antiquated POS software. The point of sale software is not able to handle the purchase return or the rental or however they're doing it. So it seems like there's something else they're going to have to come up with. It's just like a technical difficulty that they're having, as opposed to the plan not being popular, because to be quite honest, it's not been around long enough to gauge the popularity.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they'll just need to study it a little bit more. They'll have to like roll it out in a different form. I personally, and we talked about this when we first, when it was first announced, I honestly don't think that it's necessarily worth it. It's not. Well, I won't say that. I would say that it's not something that I would participate in.
No, me either. One, I like my digital games.
Well,
Two,
yeah, you do digital, and
two, anytime you buy it, you go get a game now. So now I gotta go get the game. I gotta install it, download all the updates, and then play it. That's a whole day right there.
You gotta take the day off, yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, there's gonna be people that like it, and I don't know. It's just not something that's really interesting to me. And another thing is, I don't like GameStop.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't.
GameStop is not the most popular retailer out there.
I avoid GameStop as much as possible.
And you know, for a subscription service, I don't feel like I should have to get up out of my house, go to the store, browse through your inventory. It's just a lot to do for $60 for 6 months. Like $10 for $10 a
$10 a month,
month.
basically.
It's
Yeah.
it's a lot. I mean, what freaking Microsoft Game Pass is $10 a month, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's $10 a month.
And I mean, it's not.
It's not as robust as a
Yeah.
library.
The one benefit I see with this GameStop, the Power Pass, is they do get use first day games, first day release games. So
Yeah.
if there's a game out there you wanted to try, maybe you were on the fence about a Battlefront or a Shadow of Mordor or even Assassin's Creed, those games would now, especially like some of the older new games, like the ones that've been out a couple of weeks now, they would be available for you to rent. And to be able to check those out without buying them, and to see if you like it or not, that's a cool move. And especially when you look at a single player game like Assassin's Creed, where once you play through the story, you may not want to play it anymore.
Right.
There's the benefit there. But outside of that, I mean, it's a nice try, trying to bring the blockbuster back, but I don't know how successful it would be.
I honestly don't think it'll be successful at all. I mean, for somebody like me that plays games that primarily I play games that I want to play when it comes out, having access to a large library of used games would only really give me the chance to play things that maybe I missed out on that I wanted to play or something like that. I don't really see this benefiting a lot of people in the way that you said, because like not a lot of people are those guys that just get a game, beat it, and then sell it back. Because you know if you sell back your games, as time goes on, the value drops. So a lot of people will get their games sold back to GameStop fairly quickly
within the first week or two. Yep.
Yeah, so not a lot of people would be able to benefit from getting new games. And like I said, like I was stating before, it'll be like a mad dash to like you might have people like waiting out in freaking GameStop parking lots trying to, see if anybody's like selling the Battlefront 2 or Shadow of War or something like that. And I feel like that'll just create a very negative economy around used games, because used games is already, well, I mean, it's not the biggest controversy anymore, but it's still a problem,
Right.
quote unquote, because the used game sales goes directly to GameStop or whatever. But I think with the rise of digital sales, is most likely we've seen a decline in profit over on the
Right.
GameStop side.
Exactly. Yeah, the rise of digital sales have definitely cut into GameStop's bottom line, and this is probably part of the reason they're coming out with this service, because one, they're not getting all of the new games that they used to get, and two, they have a glut of back catalog games that they really can't do anything with. They're just sitting there collecting dust.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think there's like some good and bad with this service overall. I mean, I honestly, in the end, I feel like it wouldn't really. I don't think it has any longevity. Like if they go this route, I mean, they halted it for now. But if they decide to do anything like this, I do not see it lasting a very long time.
It'll be interesting. Like I said, I don't know. There's a value in there. The value is just not a value of any value to me.
Exactly. Yeah, there's value there, but I do not see it benefiting me personally.
Right.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, let's go ahead and go on to the next story. And for this last story in our top 5, we are talking about THQ Nordic and their acquisition of Experiment 101. So Boogie, go ahead and take us there. What we got?
So Experiment 101, if you're unfamiliar, is the studio that's behind the upcoming game
Biomutant.
It's a post-apocalyptic game. They showed it off at Gamescom. It's got a huge reaction, and it's something I'm really stoked for. I saw the game. I like it. It looks very, very interesting. But they paid $8.9 million for
The studio.
for the studio and complete control of the IP. So not only do they own the studio, they own the Biomutant IP. So if they decide to make it a continuing franchise, they can do that. Again, this is the second purchase I've seen since Microsoft has announced their plans to start pushing into more exclusive content. So I don't know if there may or may not be a correlation, but it's just interesting that all of these guys that were sitting as quasi-independent studios with just publishing deals are now being scooped up.
Yeah, and 101 is a fairly new studio.
Yeah, I think 2015 is when they were founded.
I don't know if they have anything under their belt or who works for this company that may have worked somewhere else. I'm not sure what their credentials are, but Biomutant does look like a very interesting game.
Oh yeah, the game looks pretty good. And it looks, of course, me and my
obsession with the pretty.
My obsession with my obsession with the pretty is it looks really good. And it looks very interesting. I think this is the only game. I don't think they have anything else. Mm-hmm. They opened in 2015 and they've been working on this. And it's open world. It's an open world RPG. Think of your Destinies or your Anthems or your Skyrims.
Right.
That type of game, Fallouts along those lines. So it's one of those guys. It looks super interesting. THQ thought it was worth $8.9 million. The studio and the IP. I think the IP is probably worth that just alone.
Just in itself,
right.
Yeah, the IP. But to scoop up, they must be super talented if they're willing to just scoop them up. With literally nothing under their belt.
Other than this game. Yeah.
This isn't even under their belt yet. They're still working on it.
Right. And THQ did release a statement. Their statement basically said as such. They said they didn't want to pass up the potential of Experiment 101 as a studio or Biomutant as a IP. And so they went ahead and made that purchase. Yeah.
Can't blame them for that. We'll have to see what comes of this acquisition. Hopefully the game does well. It looks super interesting. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's going on.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a really interesting show. And seeing as how THQ Nordic or Nordic Games, when they acquired the THQ license or whatnot, they have what am I trying to say here? They have something to prove. Coming back with the THQ after the whole bankruptcy and the sale of all of their IPs or whatnot. When they went bankrupt, for them to come back in a major way, they need this. Like they need a hit right now.
Yeah, definitely. Because THQ Nordic wasn't THQ basically folded, and was it Nordic that bought all
THQ,
of the stuff?
THQ folded. Nordic bought up most of the IPs.
Right.
So, it'll be interesting to see whether they can succeed with essentially what's THQ Volume 2 out here.
Right.
Because Nordic Games was its own thing, and they decided to keep the THQ moniker. Even after all of the bad press and publicity that went along with it.
Right.
So
we'll
see what happens. I'm super interested, and Biomutant looks like a very interesting game.
Yeah, it does. It does look very interesting. It looks like something a little bit different, not much different than everything else out there, but different enough to be worthy of a look and a play.
Yeah. Yep. And again, that's what's the studio? 101?
Experiment 101.
Experiment 101 is the name of the studio, and the name of the game is Biomutant. Do we have a release date for that?
No.
No release date as of yet. Yeah, it looks super cool, man.
2018 is the general 2018. That could be delayed.
Yeah, it most likely will. if they wanted to be good as possible. It should.
Right.
Oh God, but yeah, so that was our top 5 news stories for this week. Again, let us know what you think down in the comments section. You can see down in the lower left-hand corner, if you're watching this live, you can see our social media. We are on Facebook, we're on Twitter. You can also leave comments in the comments section if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on your favorite podcasting app. Leave us a comment down there as well. Rate the show, let us know what you think, and engage with us on these topics. We love interacting with you guys, so let us know what you think. Pick our brains, ask us questions, and let's get this discussion started on either this story or any of the stories that we talked about during the show so far. And speaking of questions, it's now time for a new segment that we're just rolling out on the podcast, and that is I don't know what we're gonna call it, but for right now, it's just gonna be user questions. What are we gonna call it?
We're gonna call it something.
We're gonna call it something. Questions. Questions. And this segment is going to allow you guys that are watching us live, our live audience, to ask us questions based on, either based on the stories that we've been talking about, or just gaming questions in general, and we'll address it while we're live to kind of like get you guys more engaged with the live show. I always felt bad that we had people in the chat that would be talking to us, but we never really engaged them. Yeah. We never really engaged with you guys unless we had like time after the podcast and during the post show. Then we would kind of like shoot the shit for a while. But I wanted to make this official. I wanted to make this a part of the show. So here we go. This is going to be called questions. Questions. That's what we're going to call it. That's what we're going to call it for now, at least. We'll wait until we the final name is pending. So the first question comes from the homie Maury Jin over on Twitch. And by the way, we are multi-streaming this. So we're on Twitch, we're on Mixer, we're on YouTube, and we're on Facebook. So no matter where you are, you can ask us a question. The first one comes from Maury Jin, and it says, would you like to see Nintendo do in the future to help make them better? I don't understand.
What would you like to do?
What would you like to see Nintendo do in the future to help them make better? Like help them be better, I guess is essentially what he's saying.
What would
you? Yeah, go ahead.
I want them to be less hostile to their customers.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo is very hostile to their customers. I mean, when you release the same game 4 times and each game is released for full price, I mean that's not doing anybody any favors.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. What I would like to see, and I've been very vocal about my displeasure in Nintendo as of late, but one thing that I would like to see is for them to re-release a game, not at full price. Like I think that Nintendo has to be the only guys with the freaking cojones, freaking balls, to freaking release a previous gen game at full price. And it's kind of mind boggling. I don't know where they get off like doing that, especially seeing as how their last generation was a universal failure. The Wii U was a failure.
Absolutely.
So I would like to see them do. I mean, and it's essentially the same thing that you're saying. Just do right by consumers. Right. They're not doing right by their consumers right now.
Yeah, I think that they're hostile. I feel like they're hostile towards the consumers from, like you said, re-releasing old games at full price, to just locking down all of the IP, making you buy games over and over and over again.
Right, with the e-network, eShop or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
The false scarcity. And the fact that they sell you bare bones systems, and for you really to get a system up, and it's been with all of the systems from the Wii, I'm going all the way back to the GameCube, from the GameCube to the Wii, to the Wii U, to the Switch. You can't just buy the system and then be okay. You also have to buy additional stuff for. You have to
Plastic.
buy, yeah, you have to buy exactly what you call plastic. You have to buy the additional plastic. It's always been the case for Nintendo, and it continues today. When you look at the Nintendo Switch and it has 32 gigabytes of hard drive space, what?
What? Next question. Let's go ahead and move on. Another one from Maury Jen says, "What other Nintendo consoles would you get a mini reboot like the SNES?" I think the best one that they could do is the Nintendo 64, and it's most likely what they're gonna do. I think we talked about that. They have a patent or something already in the works.
Yeah, they had a patent. And there's like some box, not a patent. It was what was it? It was a trademark filing.
Yeah.
I think it was what it was. It was a trademark filing, and it was logos and such that's similar to what's on the classic, the mini classic consoles, but this one was for 64. So yeah, I think they will bring that out. To be quite honest, I don't want to see them bring any more classic consoles out. Work on your new stuff and give me something for that's worthwhile.
You know what? I mean, the Nintendo 64 is like, man, that's like everybody's baby though, man. The 64, you cannot deny that the 64 was a dope ass console. Oh, it had some dope ass exclusives.
Yeah, I will not, because I was a huge 64 fan. I played a ton of 64. That was something those were during my my single clubbing days, and we would go out, and then we'll come back, toe up and get on some GoldenEye.
Oh God,
we'll rock GoldenEye for hours.
Oh, GoldenEye was the jam. You better not be screen peeping.
We'd get back at like 2 and be on GoldenEye to like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, it's given me some good memories to 64. I definitely wouldn't.
But what games would they put on there? They would definitely have to have GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, Mario 64, right?
Mario 64, Mario Kart 64.
Mario Kart 64, yep.
What else? Yo, WWF No Mercy.
Oh yeah, no, not that one.
Nah, dog, No Mercy was the best.
No. The one WCW with WCW versus NWO.
No Mercy was king, my boy. That was like the last one that they made out of like that entire like run of wrestling games. Yeah. So that joke was like optimized like hell, dude. I love that shit.
No, we played the WCW NWO one.
Yeah.
With bad Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, evil Hulk Hogan, NWO Hogan. Oh.
Yeah, NWO Hogan.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Hogan. Yep. That was the joint. Yep.
Yeah, that was the jam. That was the
joint. That's what we played. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that was the jam. All right, next question. One more from Maury Jin. Did you guys ever play Shadow of Colossus when it first came out? Also, what did you think of the game, and will you be getting the remake when it comes out? You want to go first on this?
Yeah, because mine says easy. No and no.
Oh damn. I can say that I did not have the game when it came out, because I didn't have a PlayStation 2. But I did have a friend that had it, and he allowed me to essentially take his freaking PlayStation and like use it to play like awesome games. So shout out to freaking O for letting me just essentially own his PlayStation 2 for a while and play a large variety of games. So yeah, I did not have it when it came out. Yes, I did play it though, but I will not be getting the remake because it's the same game. They're not adding anything to it, and there was a lot of cut content in Shadow of the Colossus. If you go back and like listen to, or like I think there was like a art book that came out with one of the versions, and they showed like designs for a lot of the monsters that was cut. So there was a lot of content that was cut out, and I wish that they added that in some of these subsequent freaking releases, because we had a Shadow of Colossus remake last gen as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's that whole Nintendo thing where you just keep making the same game over and over to resell.
Like I don't understand why they keep doing that. Especially the way that they're doing it. Like if they just like put it like on the like PlayStation Network store, just as like a digital download, that's one thing. But an official like separate SKU, a separate title only on PlayStation 4, same game, I'm good.
Yeah, man.
I feel like once is enough. 3 is like, come on, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not interested. Never have been interested. I've heard how great it is and so on and so forth. I don't care.
Excellent game. It's probably like the best game with absolutely little to no voice acting. It is even the voice acting that's there, you can't fucking understand it. So it's an excellent story, very very solid mechanics, and it looked gorgeous on the PlayStation 2. It looked gorgeous, and it holds up today. But I mean, it doesn't really need to hold up because we've had it in every subsequent freaking PlayStation console. We've had Shadow of Colossus on there. So, yeah, hope that answers that question. I think we kind of went in on that one. Yeah. Next question. We got 2 more here. This one comes from Mount Lover. Oh, Mount Lover, what's good, homie? What is the most you've ever spent on a microtransactions in a game? And will you ever spend that much ever again?
Well,
go ahead.
I'll start. I have a running total on Overwatch. I spend maybe 10. Well, I think it's the $10 tier. It gets you like 11 loot boxes.
Okay.
I've probably done that maybe 5 or 6 times, so $50-$60. And that's over the course of since the game's been out. And I usually would buy during an event. This past event I didn't. But like last year's Christmas event, last year's Valentine's event I did. And I think I did some. Yeah, I think I did some on the Christmas event, and I did one on the summer event. I think on the summer event I spent $20. I spent 10, 10, and 20. I think is what I've done. Other than that, I'm trying to think. Because microtransactions, that will also include buying characters and stuff. I don't think I've ever outright purchased characters. I think that's about it, unless you want to include expansion passes. But that's
I don't think that really counts, because I was thinking like, does like season passes count? Like probably not.
It's just Overwatch. Overwatch is the first game I've really partaken in microtransactions. It's probably the only game. I think I bought some in Destiny, like Destiny 1 last year. Like again, $20, but I just did it once to see what I would get and how I felt about it, and I felt cheated, so I didn't buy any more. So I didn't buy any more. So I think maybe total I might have reached about $100.
Okay. I'm not sure what my total would be. I kind of dabbled in microtransactions when like nobody was really talking about it back when Halo 5 released. They did have microtransactions where you buy like the credits and you can get like, different skins and whatnot for your weapon. I dabbled in that. I probably maybe spent like maybe $10 on those, and I didn't get what I wanted. So it wasn't an issue for me. I didn't get what I wanted. So like, I just never did it again. I would probably have to say the most that I've ever spent on microtransactions in a game was probably last generation for Street Fighter 4. Because if you remember, all the characters came in like different like little like bundle packs or whatever, and then all of the character skins also came in bundle packs as well. And then you had to purchase an entirely new game. No, you had the vanilla Street Fighter 4, then you had Super Street Fighter 4. I believe those are 2 separate games. I don't remember. I believe it was.
Super Street Fighter 4 was a separate release.
A separate release. Okay, so there was the additional characters, the character skins. I owned everything if I remember correctly. So, yeah, I think that was probably the most I ever spent in microtransactions, and I don't know how much that totaled to, but I think that was it. And will I ever do it again? Most likely not. Number one, I haven't really been into fighting games, but that Dragon Ball is coming out, so if they decide, well, I mean, I got the deluxe edition, so if my version of the game doesn't include all of the freaking characters that are coming out, at least initially in this first season, I'm gonna be a little upset because I think that cost me like 80 was that an $80 purchase? I'm about to check right now. I'm about to check.
Speaking of purchases, I just got new characters for For Honor.
Oh yeah, you bought For Honor. I didn't buy anybody for For Honor.
Yeah, I bought the season pass, the deluxe edition with the season pass. So I got the current set of characters that were just released, and couldn't tell you who they were or how they played because I haven't played that game since the last time we got our faces hammered.
Oh my god, just getting wrecked. Excuse me. I bought the Dragon Ball Fighter Z Collectors with a Z at the end, Collector's Edition, and that was $140. So if that doesn't include whatever characters are coming out right after launch, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, sure. I would imagine it would, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming it does, but you never know these days. You would think that the guys that have developed this game, I think it's Arc System Works, they don't want no drama with the gaming community.
No.
Not after that debacle with Persona. They don't want no drama. So yeah, thanks for that question. That was a good one. That was a good question. All right, and we have one last question from was it Cruisin 13? Yeah. Cruisin 13 over on Twitch asked the question: do you guys have good gaming PCs? I would say mine's is about average. My PC is actually pretty old. I built it myself back in 2009, 2010, and I've upgraded it slightly since then. I just recently got some more another internal more memory or whatever, or new hard drive. I had to get a new hard drive. I was running out of hard drive space, but I've updated my RAM once. I've updated my graphics card twice since then. I think one of my next purchases is probably going to be a new CPU and motherboard. So I'm kind of just gonna start from scratch or whatnot. Get a new CPU, get a new motherboard, and maybe get me a flash drive.
Solid state drive.
Yeah, solid state flash drive for my memories, because that's where it's at. Yeah. What about you, Boogie?
I built my PC around the same time you did, like 2000. It was the year my daughter was born, so 2010. Yeah. My oldest. And since then, I've doubled the RAM. So when I initially built it, I started with 16. I think I've got 32 now. I've upgraded the video card twice. I've added hard drive space. But it's time again. I'm just like you. It's time for a new build. But right now, I can run most games on the medium settings. Right. Which is not too bad. It's like a step up above console. I don't game on my PC. I
don't do a whole lot of gaming on my PC, honestly. I mean, it'll have to be like a major sale or like a midnight release or something like that. Then I'll get it on PC. But that's about it.
Yeah. I don't.
So average.
Yeah. Is average. I mean, it's passable. I can game on it. I don't have a super system where I can run any kind of 4K 120 frames per second with like a quad 4K monitor curve setup and my booster seat. I don't have any of that, but I mean, if I really wanted to play games on my PC, I will be able to, and it'll be it won't be horrible.
Right. All right, so that was our questions segment. If you have questions that you want to ask us, make sure that if you're watching this live, just post your questions in the chat and we will address them during the podcast. But if you're watching this, on YouTube or when we upload it to the various sites that we do, ask us questions anyway. We'll answer them in the comments section.
Yep. Or
definitely want to engage with you guys.
Or tweet them to us. AW Gaming NS.
Yep. On Twitter. Yep, definitely. Yep. That. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment, and that is going to be the long form discussion. And today we are going to be giving you guys our second annual holiday shopping extravaganza for Black Friday.
Yes.
Which is coming up.
Black Friday. This Friday.
Black Friday. Yep. Friday.
we went through, we scanned through what was on sale, and all of the good stuff and all of the bad stuff and blah blah blah. To be quite honest, there's some good sales out there. There's nothing outrageous, outstanding, or worthy of you going to stand in line with 1,000 other people.
Right.
That's going to be pushing and shoving. So my recommendation is Black Friday morning, sleep in. Wake up, make yourself a leftover turkey sandwich, and watch a movie. That would be my recommendation. But if you must go out on Black Friday, well, let's just start with the console and our recommendations, how we would recommend it. So last year when we did the console recommendation, we gave a buy or must buy, or buy or don't buy. And
right.
last year, the only console we said don't buy was the Wii U, and that was
because it was dying.
Yeah, the Switch was on its way. This year, we're not going to give you a buy or not buy. We're just going to go through the three consoles.
Give you some
pros and cons. Yeah,
there's some pros and cons. That's about it.
And you make this decision based on what you want to play and how you want to play it, right?
Exactly. So first up, what we got?
The first one we're going to look at is the Microsoft's Xbox One, right? So Microsoft, the Xbox One, the biggest pro with them is they have the largest library of current gen systems, and that's because they have that backwards compatibility program, which has a few hundred titles, Xbox 360 titles that are playable. It has, and this is my opinion, but I think it has the best-in-class online service as far as stability and features, and the fact that you get 4 free games per month every month. Every month you are guaranteed to get 4 free games, 2 Xbox One titles and 2 Xbox 360 titles. And again, those titles are playable because of Xbox's backwards compatibility.
Yep.
Every Xbox One that you buy today, and since last August, once the Xbox One S was released, comes with the Blu-ray player. Unless you're going to GameStop and you buy the big OG black box, if you buy the white Xbox One S or the new Xbox One X, you have a 4K Blu-ray player to go with your 4K TV if that's something you're buying this year. None of the other consoles have that. Right. And a typical Blu-ray player, typical 4K Blu-ray player, although prices have dropped, are still costing at least $250.
It's a pretty penny.
Yeah. Now,
so those are the pros. Do we have any cons?
The cons for the Xbox One is there's no exclusive games. The only game support you have are third party support, multi-platform games. So pretty much every game you play on Xbox One, you can play on PlayStation and or Nintendo Switch
or PC
and pretty much all PC. So I want to go over this. We're going to do a long form in this argument. Console exclusive versus platform exclusive, because Sony fans will say Sony has the platform exclusive when it has, only games on Sony. But if you look at, you say, okay, you can play the game on PC, but that PC is Microsoft's platform. Because you can play it on PC, you can't play it on the Mac, right? So that will still make it a Microsoft exclusive. Because Microsoft makes a set-top box, doesn't mean that a Cuphead or Forza or Gears of War is not a Microsoft. It's still a Microsoft exclusive because you only can play it on a Microsoft product, right?
But it's not an Xbox exclusive, though.
I guess
that's the argument, quote unquote.
I guess, but I don't think a console is in competition with a PC.
It better not be. It's going to lose.
Right. They're wholly different platforms, but that's semantics. Like you said, if you're looking for the games, Microsoft is struggling in that regard. That's the biggest con I have with Microsoft, and sometimes their direction can be a bit questionable because they flip flopped a lot. They pushed to Kinect. Now they cancel the Kinect. They had
some very high priority first party titles.
Yep.
Pushed back a lot of other ones.
Yep. So that it's questionable what their strategy is and how they're going to push it as far as it comes with games. So that can be problematic. And again, their biggest Achilles heel is that they don't have the games.
Yeah.
They don't have the games that going to drive you to the system, because like we said before, most of their games are multiplayer and you can play them on other systems.
Exactly.
Moving on to the Nintendo Switch.
Pros for the Switch. First party titles like that your Mario,
iconic.
Your Zelda, your Splatoon, your ARMS, upcoming games, your Metroid, only are going to be only playable on the Nintendo Switch. Another pro, it's portable. You can take it anywhere, and play. You can play Skyrim, which is what was on the advertisements. You can play Skyrim on the go, and it's cheap, $300, kind of, sorta, if you're not buying a pro controller. And the cartridge-based games. So no loading times. Essentially, no loading time. Right. Large loading time. But cons.
Well, so one of your pros I think is a con. The price, $299. I think that's overly expensive, especially coming into this Black Friday when you can buy a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One for $100 less than that.
True.
So I think that's a con.
I think it's a pro for it being a console that just came out.
Well, I think even as a brand new console, it's still too expensive. I think it's not. I don't think it's a $300 system. Consider. Okay. I know the technology, and they're gonna say, "Oh, the super technology in the Joy-Cons with the HD
Rumble, man,
and HD Rumble." It's portable. Which anytime you make anything portable, the smaller it is, the more expensive it is. That's just the way computing works.
I like that Cameron reference. That was dope. Computers computing. I like that. Go ahead.
And then there's 32 gigs of internal storage. Really?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Really? Those things irk me. But when you look at the Nintendo Switch, yes, it has some good pros. The look at the cons is no online.
No online, especially if you're on the go, unless you got some freaking like a mobile hotspot or something. No online, inferior third-party ports, vastly inferior.
And that's because the Nintendo Switch is the least powerful of all the systems, significantly less power than all of the other systems. It's still a last-gen system in the current gen time period. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. So yeah, that's a problem, and it's borne out when publishers release games that they couldn't they couldn't release all of the features. FIFA 18 is a prime example.
Right.
And again, one of my biggest con with that is the amount of accessories you need to actually have a full system. So if you're not buying games on the cartridge, and now even if you are buying games on the cartridge, you have to buy an SD card, because again, they have 32 gigs of RAM. I mean, and you buy an SD card, you're looking at 128 gig card you can find for $50, right? A 256 gig card, now you're looking at $100.
Yeah.
And anything more than that, you're looking at, there's a terabyte card out there, $600.
Ooh.
Now think about, you can go and buy a PlayStation 4 with 1 terabyte hard drive space for $199, or you can spend $399 for a Switch with 120 gigs of internal RAM, 256 gigs of internal RAM. So I mean, the value there is not there. The Switch only does 1080p. There's no it's up converted 1080. It's not native 1080. Most of the stuff is native 720. The online. I mean, there's no chat. There's nothing. I mean, my recommendation for Nintendo Switch, if you want a game on the go, if you absolutely love the Nintendo family of IPs,
Mario, Zelda,
you want those games, you love those games, you live those games, If you're expecting to play games like Battlefront and Call of Duty and any of the sport games,
Not the console for you.
yeah, definitely not the console for you. Not to say Nintendo Switch is a bad console. It's a great console. It's a good system. It's nice. It has, again, the first party games are iconic. It has at least one fun new IP with Mario versus Rabbids. I love that game. That game is awesome. Um, but yeah, I just, if you want to be able to game on the go at some point and you want the first party IPs, definitely a Nintendo Switch is a good way to go.
Right. Next up, PlayStation 4 / PlayStation 4 Pro.
Right. So the PlayStation,
Pros.
yeah, the PlayStation 4 obviously has the best library, the best current gen library, and it is mainly, largely due to the first party titles that they have. When you look at their first party titles, you have stuff like Uncharted, Last of Us 2 that's upcoming. You have Horizon Zero Dawn. You have the Spider-Man game that's coming out next year.
Yep.
You have games that are third party.
Not a first party title.
Yeah,
the Spider-Man.
Yeah,
That's
Spider-Man. It's a third party exclusive. It's third party because it's by Insomniac, but it's still exclusive to PlayStation. That's just like Neo is a third party exclusive. And then what's the other game? Nier.
Nier
Automata.
I think Neo just dropped on PC though.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, your point is still very valid. The largest list of exclusive games,
first party and third.
Right, exactly.
And then on top of that, they've cut a lot of deals on with Bungie and with Activision. I mean, with Activision.
Yeah, Activision, Call of Duty.
Yeah, where they get exclusive content first. Like in Destiny games, they get exclusive content. Period. Right? They get weapons and maps, and Call of Duty, they get the map packs and the DLC a month before anybody else gets it. That'd be PC or Xbox.
Right.
So I mean, you have that option. And again, just like Microsoft, that has a very strong online service. I wouldn't quite say it's better than Xbox One, but it's very, very close. It's like 9 and 10, right?
Right.
They're very close together. You do get free games with PlayStation Plus service. 2 free games at least. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4. I've seen up to 5 when they do the cross buy setup.
Right.
So you do have that. The cons, I don't know. What are the cons for a PlayStation 4?
Oh, dude. I mean, if you want to compare the PlayStation 4 Pro to the Xbox One S, it didn't really hold up, you know?
It's definitely underpowered there. That's
the PlayStation 4 Pro was definitely pushed out a little ahead of its time. I'm not sure. I mean, VR? I don't know.
So I was having a hard time with the PlayStation, with cons on the PlayStation as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there are, as far as a gaming machine, it is the gaming machine.
Yeah, it's the gaming console.
The cons will come into play if you want to do stuff other than gaming. If you want to do movies, because there's a Blu-ray player, there's no 4K Blu-ray player.
Right.
While the PlayStation 4 does HDR, the PlayStation 4 Pro does 4K and HDR streaming. Again, for PlayStation 4 Pro has no 4K Blu-ray player, where the Xbox One S, which is
the previous,
it does. So if you're looking to integrate it into your home theater system, that's definitely not. It's not a system that's easily integrated, especially if you're a video file and you want the best looking video, because you can stream 4K content to your heart's content. You can have gigabit internet. The problem is the source from Netflix or Vudu or wherever you're getting it, they cap it, and they cap it and they compress it, and it shows bad digital artifacts. Whereas if you're just playing it off the disc, it is by far the superior quality picture.
Right.
So I mean, when you look at the Sony PlayStation 4, as far as it is the gaming system. But
with tons of exclusive, like we mentioned, and a lot more coming down the line.
Right. But if you're looking for if you're looking to play games, but you also want it to be in your living room as a companion box for your entertainment center, to play movies and to play disc and stream and stuff, it is not the best system for that.
Right. Also, if you stream to Twitch, it's probably not the best choice.
If you're streaming directly from the console.
if you stream directly from the console, it looks like garbage.
Yeah, because they're capped at only 720. If you have a PS4 Pro, you can get up to 1080. The Xbox is the same, except if you use a Mixer. If you use Mixer, you can stream at 1080.
1080, 60 frames.
Right, 1080, 60. But you can't do it for Twitch.
No.
I'm not sure about the One X if they unlocked it for One X, but I know for the One S, you can stream Twitch only 720, but you can stream the Mixer at 1080 at 60.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, PlayStation 4 is looking like the strongest contender as far as a gaming console. The Xbox is the stronger contender as far as a media center, like all encompassing media device, and the Nintendo Switch is the number one contender as far as Nintendo games and portability.
Portability is it. Yeah, and my stance on the Nintendo Switch, I've said this before, and I will continue to say this: it is not a primary system. Right. You get the Nintendo Switch to complement your Xbox or your PlayStation. Right. You don't get it to replace or in lieu of, and that's just my opinion.
Right. So yeah, so those were our opinions on the big three: Microsoft, Nintendo, and PlayStation. Let us know what you think, and let us know which one you will be getting this Black Friday. Let us know. Let's go ahead and move into TVs. And okay. I remember last year we spent a lot of time on TVs.
Yeah, maybe a bit too much time last year on TV. So this year we definitely dialed it down quite a bit. So what we did this year, instead of going through like a list of TVs and buys and blah, 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 we've got 3 models, a budget pick, a mid-tier, and a high-end pick. And the budget pick is a TCL 55P607. It's a 4K TV, HDR. It's actually a Roku Smart TV, and by that, what it does, it basically has, if you have a Roku, it uses that OS as its operating system. So when the Smart TV operating system is the Roku one. It does Dolby Vision, which is nice because Dolby Vision is slightly better. For me, it's noticeably better. I can tell the difference. Not everybody's going to be able to tell the difference. Right. But the thing with Dolby Vision is it's a hardware solution. So either you have it or you don't. If you have the hardware for it, it's actually a SoC chip, a system on a chip, that goes with the TV. So it has the Dolby Vision, the advanced remote with voice search. What's interesting about that is that remote control is basically the Roku remote control customized for the TV. Right. So if you're familiar with your Roku remote, it's that remote control. You press a button, you can do voice search. Show me House of Cards, and it'll show House of Cards. And it also has, which is really cool, a headphone jack in the bottom of it. So if you want to watch TV without disturbing your significant other or the kids or your neighbors or whatever, you can do that with the headphones. And there's also a companion mobile app that lets you control and select apps and select content in the apps and even change the channel and such.
Right, like you can control your Hulu or your Netflix or whatever from the mobile app.
Right. And
with that
Android, iOS.
Yep. Pretty legit for the price.
Yeah. And it's right now it's $649.99 for 55-inch on Amazon. And that's actually not an Amazon exclusive price. That seems to be the price most everywhere else too. You see it you'll see it for advertised at $650 even, $649 even, or $649.99. I think it's normally like $749 or $849.
Yeah. I'm seeing the listing price as $800 even.
$800 even. Okay, yeah. $799. Okay, and then we got the mid tier, and is the Sony X900E. That comes in at $998 for the 55-inch. I think that one is normally like $12.99, so that's on sale for about $300 off. It's an Android TV, so it's using the Android TV OS. It has Alexa integration, so there's a skill on the Alexa, so you can talk to her and have her do stuff on your TV.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Alexa.
Yeah. So,
that was excellent.
But it has a skill, so it has that type of integration, and it has full array local dimming. So what that is instead of the edge lit, like a lot of the super thin LCDs you see have edge lit backlighting, where this has got a full backlight of LEDs on the back, and they light and dim based on the content of the TV, of the show that you're watching.
Okay.
So like in the areas where it's supposed to be black, they'll turn off. In the areas where it's supposed to be lit up, they'll light on. Because they're LEDs, what you will notice, you'll notice a halo effect where, obviously light, it bleeds out, right? So if it's close to an edge, you might see some light closer to the edge. It can be weird, but I have it on my TV. It kind of annoys me, so I turn it off, to be quite honest. But there's that, and then the high end is the LG C7. This is an OLED TV, and I remember last year I think it was the B6, got horrible remarks for gamers because of all of the processing. The lag, the image lag to the input was horrible. They seem to have fixed that, and they also have a game mode, so it cuts out on some of the processing, so your input is more natural, and it's OLED, so you get the deep OLED blacks. It has Dolby Vision HDR. Also, it has Dolby Atmos audio built into the TV. And what Dolby Atmos does, it does a center high, so it shoots like center up in the air.
Okay.
I don't know what the huge benefit of that is. I don't know. I have the Xbox One S. Actually, I think it's even just normal Xbox. With the latest, one of the last updates, Microsoft enabled Dolby Atmos into the Xbox. It might be the One S and later. I'll have to check for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to check. Yeah.
I know for sure if you have an Xbox One S or Xbox One X, you do have Dolby Atmos audio. You just have to get the proper hardware to go with it. But those are the three TVs that are the top to look out for this holiday season.
Right.
Those are going to be the best
bargain buys.
Yep, best for your money. Picture quality and such. And to be quite honest, this TCL 55p 607, the picture, the panel apparently is great. Is so good that it's actually marked higher than the Sony X900E. So you can take that for what it's worth.
What it's worth, right?
But I mean, for $650, if you're in the market for a 4K TV, you really can't go wrong.
You can't beat that.
Not at all.
If I needed a TV, I would most likely go after this one.
Yeah, that's a steal. That's a
yeah.
steal. And it does as TVs go, right? Last year the prices were twice as much, and I mean now their 4K is commoditized now, so the TVs are going to be much cheaper. And next year you'll probably be able to get a $400 or $500 TV.
Right.
So there's that.
Just that. Let's go ahead and move on though, because we got some notable Black Friday deals that we want to talk to you guys with before we end this segment. So we have a list here for you guys, and you can actually look at this list. We'll have our show notes posted over on our Facebook page, and I'll leave links in the description everywhere else so that you can check those out. But let's go ahead and start off with the first one.
Okay, so the lowest price for the PS4 Slim is going to be at BJ's and Costco. I mean, obviously they're membership clubs, but if you're a member, your parents remember at BJ's and Costco, they can get your PS4. I say Slim, but it's the only PS4.
Yeah, it's basically the
PS4.
It's the PS4.
Right.
It replaced the original one, the one that was
the half one.
Yeah. It kind of just replaced the one that was released at launch. So this is the PS4.
Right, and it's the lowest price, $189.99 at BJ's and Costco. Everywhere else is going to be selling it for the holidays for $199. And when I say everywhere else, I literally mean everybody else, from Amazon to Newegg to Best Buy to to Kohl's. Yeah, Kohl's.
Coles.
I saw that. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, Kohl's. And, all of them going to be selling PS4s for $199. I didn't see many throw-ins. There's some throw-ins. I think Kohl's is giving 45 Kohl dollars. So it's $45 of in-store credit to spend there, essentially.
Okay.
That's all I saw with that. The PSVR actually right now is $199 just the base PSVR, but that sale is off tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see in ads anywhere where it's going to be $199 for Black Friday. I would keep my eye open because I would think it's probably going to go down again to that price. The PSVR sold like hotcakes to start, but it seemed to have slowed quite significantly.
Yeah, because ain't no damn games to play on it.
Another noticeable deal is the PSVR bundle, Gran Turismo bundle. And this is the one that's normally $400. It comes with the game Gran Turismo. It comes with the camera, the 2 move controllers. It's normally $399. That's going on sale. That's on sale for $299, and that's going to be at Newegg, Best Buy, Walmart's, Amazon, and many other outlets. It seems to be a manufacturer deal, a Sony deal as opposed to a individual store deal.
Right.
The only sale for the PS4 Pro is at GameStop for $349.99. It was unclear in the ad copy of what I saw if it was a brand new or used one.
Or refurbished? We don't know.
Or refurbished, right? It was unclear. They didn't say whether it was brand new or not. My assumption, if they didn't say it is, but it's also GameStop. So I've been in a GameStop and they say, "Oh yeah, no, that sale price is for the refurbished one." I've had that before. So
yeah. Buyer beware.
$349.99. I wouldn't quite. I bought refurbished gear from GameStop. I've never had a problem with it. So
I've bought used consoles from GameStop and I've always had problems with it.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My PS3 was refurbished from GameStop. Even just my PS3.
Yeah, I've never got a refurbished, but I have gotten a used. I've gotten some used handhelds from there. Back when they used to sell Dreamcast, I had to go back 3 times and trade out my Dreamcast because it wasn't reading my discs.
Yeah, that was a Dreamcast issue.
Well, I'm just saying, like they bought those consoles back without testing them, and then I believe I bought a used 360 and it red ringed on me. So
yeah, you just had bad luck.
Just bad luck, I guess.
My PS3 was a refurbished, and the PS4, because I had a PS4 the first year it came out.
Because I remember.
Yeah, the PS4 was it was scarce at first, right? Because it was hard to get, and GameStop, all they had was a refurbished one. I just took it, and I had no problems with it. But yeah, there's that, and then there's gonna be $100 3DSs.
It doesn't specify which one though.
No. And I saw also a $79.99 Zelda 2DS. And that also looks like a manufacturer's deal because I've seen that. I saw that at multiple outlets.
Yeah.
There's no apparent deals for the Switch. $299. There's a few outlets that's going to throw in a free Nintendo Switch case. If you want that free case.
Yep.
$189.99 Xbox One S 500 gigabyte version.
Mm-hmm.
And the best deal for the Xbox One S is actually at the Microsoft store. Is $189.99 for the Xbox One S with a free game and 1 month of Game Pass. And the free game is a choice from Steep, Assassin's Creed, the Ezio Collection, Just Dance 2018, Watch Dogs 2, or the Hasbro Family Game Pack. I mean, you pick one of those 5. You get the Game Pass and you get an Xbox One S for $190. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Because considering that these systems are selling for $250, $299 typically, there's a ton of $39.99 sales on games. Destiny is going to be $39.99. Madden is going to be 50% off. What else? I mean, the games are. I mean, to go through the list of games.
We'll have the list of everything
links.
Else.
We have links to the list for the games. I mean, there's a ton. In fact, right now, if you log on to your Xbox or your PlayStation, they are having a sale. I think it ends tomorrow. A digital sale. They're having like Overwatch is on there, Madden's on there. I picked up Madden for $30.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a sale going on right now on the Xbox.
Also on Xbox, they're giving, or not giving away, but if you've already used your Microsoft Game Pass 14-day trial, you can get Microsoft Game Pass right now for $1 for the first month.
For the first month, yep, that's right. I saw that. Yeah, so I mean, the deals are I mean, the deals for the PlayStation and Xbox are priced super aggressive.
Right.
Like less than $200. I mean, I guess this is what, halfway through the generation.
Yeah, life cycle. Yeah.
Right. And then of course they've got the high end ones, the Pro and the Xbox One X. But I mean, when you look at $200 for an Xbox or a PlayStation, or $300 for a Nintendo Switch, you gotta fucking love Mario.
Yeah, you gotta really love you some dudes in green tunics out here.
Right.
He barely even wears that thing in that game.
Right. You gotta love the Nintendo, because I mean, if you're a parent and you're looking to buy your child a system, I
Switch
guess
is not the best value.
it's definitely not the best value by far. I mean, considering again the lack of games, it has some games. People tell you it has a lot of games. It doesn't have a lot of games. It has a lot of shovelware. It has the big games that it does have are the Nintendo games, and again, the third party stuff is mostly gimped or old. I mean, when you look at
Re-release, freaking Skyrim, LA Noire.
Yeah, I mean those are old games. Doom. Those are old games. So
trust your instincts, and whatever you do, kids, do not send your grandparents to GameStop for a Nintendo. You will be disappointed.
Because you're gonna wind up with a Wii U or NES Classic.
Yeah, or NES Classic. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, that's another. I didn't see any sales for the SNES Classic.
Oh, you're not gonna see any sales on. I'm surprised that. I mean, well, I can't be surprised at the 3DS. I mean, dude, yeah, Nintendo was selling everything at full price, my boy.
Yeah, the 3DS seems like it's end of life, if you ask me.
Yeah. Oh no, it is. Like, why the hell would they make a portable console and still have a portable handheld console?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So yeah. So that was our Black Friday holiday shopping extravaganza for 2017. Let us know what you guys think of this list, and also check the links in the description and also in the show notes for full detailed list of everything that we spoke of here today. But I think we're gonna go ahead and get into our final segment, which is our final thoughts. And this is just where we retrace our steps a bit and talk about some of the stories that we went over, and just give our final 2 cents on each of them. So, Boogie, I'll let you go ahead and go first. What are some of your final thoughts?
IO Interactive, the Hitman TV series, I'm super interested in that. The Marvel Heroes shutting down. It sucks. It sucks because
it sucks for the console owners, dude.
That's what I say. It sucks for the console owners because it just came out in June, and like I said, people sunk money in there, and they're not going to get. You can't get the value out of that in 6 months.
No.
Nintendo's taking the top 2 spots on the NPD. I think there's 2 issues at work there. One, the scarcity of the Nintendo and them suddenly being readily available, and 2. With the holidays coming up, a lot of people are waiting for sales on the other big 2.
Right.
And on top of that, those 2 have saturated the market as well. Their markets, I should say.
Yeah.
Vivendi delaying takeover for Ubisoft. Ubisoft, this may be the calm before the storm. Just watch out. EA and their Battlefront 2. So listen. Just stop it. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help. No.
I'm not buying Battlefront 2 because of your microtransactions. And if you continue to release games, like, I just won't buy your games. I will recommend, and I will start climbing to the top of the mountain the day before all your games are released, and yell and yell and yell to anybody and everybody that's listening, don't buy anything from EA. I mean, that's the only way you're going to learn. I mean, we don't want this nonsense, and it's clear we don't want it. Stop trying to force it onto us. The Mario movie by Illumination is as a kids movie. I will watch it, not as a live action. The Power Pass service being halted, I don't care. THQ and acquiring Experiment 101. I mean, they're striking while the iron is hot. They're getting in while the price is cheap, because if this game comes out to be as good as it looks, as it's purported to be, they're definitely getting a steal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I have. I mean, as far as I said it, I said it before. I would say it again. These deals aren't worth you losing sleep on. Black Friday, sleep in, watch A Christmas Story.
Oh yeah.
Get you a turkey and cranberry sauce and stuffing sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Grab you a drink, some Grey Goose and OJ.
Oh damn.
Put your feet up in the heat and relax.
Because it ain't much going on.
Yeah, it ain't that serious.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm really excited about IO Interactive and the way that they've been handling themselves post separation from Square Enix. I really hope the best for those guys, and let's see what 21st Century Fox can do with the Hitman series. Super unfortunate that Marvel Heroes is being shut down only after a few months of being on console. Definitely interested as to what is going to happen in the UK with refunds, because it looks like a lot of people are going to be requesting those. I think I saw reports of a class action lawsuit already in the works, so we'll see what happens with that.
You gotta read those terms of service, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The top 2 spots, maybe like the top 1.5 spots on NPD as far as Nintendo. The SNES Classic, I don't count that as a home console.
Yeah,
it's kind of just like this little thing that has some games that you probably owned on your last 2 Nintendo consoles if you were big on retro games. So
right.
Whatever. Vivendi, yeah, like you said, it looks like this might be the calm before the storm. There's a lot of controversy going on right now as far as microtransaction, and Ubisoft is no stranger to microtransactions at all. So they may just be, trying to feel out where this news cycle, or whatever you want to call it, where this is going to end up, and if the stocks drop and they're cheaper, it'll be that much easier for them to increase their stake in Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. Yep.
Yeah,
you're right.
EA, dude, yeah, just I don't know, man. Mickey Mouse put the hammer down, and told those guys to shut it down, and they did. We'll see what happens in the future, because they were very clear that this was not a permanent thing. They will re-implement microtransactions at some point.
Yeah.
We'll see how that turns out and what the reaction is from the general populace. I don't plan on getting this game. I never planned on getting this game. But I mean, I don't even know what the last EA game I played was, but I don't know. You other publishers, y'all better look out, because they ain't, people ain't playing. They're not playing anymore.
EA ruined it for all of you.
They ruined it for all of you. Yeah, just like a lot of people want to say that, Overwatch was kind of like the beginning of the insurgence of the random loot crate or whatever, or they like kind of just like started everything. EA and Battlefront 2 ended everything. That's all I have to say about that. If the new Mario movie is being made by Illumination Entertainment, I feel like it's going to be good. It'll probably be really funny, and Mr. Miyamoto is definitely going to have his hand in it, so it's going to look and sound amazing. I can't wait to see it if it's true. The GameStop Power Pass service, I was never really interested, so them halting it does not faze me in the slightest. And as far as THQ acquiring 101, Experiment 101, that game, Biomutant, looks super interesting. Can't wait to see that. And, THQ Nordic, they need a win, because they took a risk by acquiring all of those IPs. They took a risk. and even naming themselves THQ, that I feel like that's a risk in itself. So they have something to prove, and hopefully this is something that will put them back on the map, and make them a competitive studio and publisher in gaming marketplace going forward. I can't wait to see what they got. And like you said, I've never gone outside on Black Friday, and I don't plan to do it this year. Not a lot going on. I have all three. I have all of the big three. So I don't plan on upgrading or anything like that.
No, right.
So maybe I might get the X next year once we get a price drop.
Right. There's. I mean, if you're not early adopter and you don't have a 4K TV right away, there's no reason. There's no sale. And like I said, I mean, I think I said it earlier, like during the show, during the icebreaker.
Yeah.
95% of the deals on Black Friday are not really deals. The stuff that are deals are door breakers. Everything else is regular price. Sometimes they're slightly elevated. You're not getting as good a deal as you think you are. The best time to really shop retail for Christmas, for the holiday, is the closer you get to Christmas. Now the problem is, if you're looking for that most popular item, that's when you're out of luck. But if you're just looking for a nice gift to get somebody, and you don't want to spend a ton of money, you don't have anything specific, especially if you don't need anything super popular, the best time to go is like the week or two before Christmas, because that's when the stores start panicking. They have all this back stock they try to get rid of, and then that's when the deals are to be had.
So that's going to do it, guys. We want to thank you all for watching. If you are new here, this is a weekly gaming news show, the podcast where two video game veterans, video game playing vets, console gaming vets, talk about the week's gaming news and discuss it live here with you guys. If you are watching us live, we definitely want to thank you. We appreciate you. Again, we broadcast on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Mixer every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the videos going live on YouTube and on the general podcasting directory every Monday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. In case you don't know where you can actually listen to us, if you want to take us on the go, Boogie, why don't you let them know where they can find us? You can find us on Google Play. You can find us in iTunes. You can find us in TuneIn Radio, and we're in the general podcasting directory. So any podcatcher that you're using, you'll be able to find us there too. You can search us a weekly gaming news show, or the call letters AWGNS. Yes, and we are also on Twitter, AWGamingNS. So you can also find us on Facebook, a weekly gaming news show, or the call letters AWGNS. And also make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. There, Boogie does the weekly gaming news 10 and 10, which is a snippet of the stories that we will be going over on the Sunday show. Those goes live every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And whenever I get a chance, I do my first impressions on the different games that I pick up. Kind of like a off the cuff, like a unscripted review, I guess you could say. But I do those whenever I get the chance to, and I plan on doing a lot more here in the future. And if you have any suggestions of any game that you would like me to give a first impressions video on, you can also leave those in the comment section as well. But I think that is enough rambling. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Again, we are a weekly gaming news show, season 2. We're here. New overlay. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks again to Mount Lover for designing this for us. Thanks again to all of you that watched us live for the questions. We really do appreciate that. We're definitely going to try and do our best to include you guys more into the show. And I think I can end it with that. Again, my name is Trenell. I'm Todd. And we will catch you guys next week. Peace.